The aim of my Year 10 lesson is a Year 10 GCSE English group. We're doing the exam text of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, and it's a very mixed ability class. I have my gifted and talented students, as well as having some SEN students in the class. Their first part of their assignment that they'll do is they'll go into a pair group, and I've put mixed ability pairs at the tables that they're already working with. So all tables are mixed ability, so it'll be differentiated tasks within the working with a pair. Then we're going to go into groups of 4. And within those groups of 4, they will then work at looking at how to secure at least a C grade answer in the exam, and then moving beyond to push the upper students, the higher ability students, to achieve an A to A star. So we're looking at taking our grade, going from an E to the C, and then pushing it higher to get from the C to the A star. And it's about learning the techniques and the elements that are in those exam responses that the examiners are looking for. We will study the book probably for about 5 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks. And then in that time, we'll read the novel, analyze the language, look at the context, study the context of the time period with the Great Depression, look at different themes of the novel with racism, isolation, loneliness, dreams, and then learn how to prepare exam answers for their GCSE final. One way we use to try to help students understand and remember how to fully complete a quality level exam answer is the J-Lo technique. So we think about Jennifer Lopez, and we relate their answers into a hamburger in a sense. So the very first part of their response goes into the point part. So you have the top bun. Then your quote would go into the middle part, which is your meat part of your hamburger. You would use your quote. And the final, the biggest part of the hamburger, the thing you really want to get your hands around and that kind of thing, is the J-Lo part, the bottom bun. And that's where the heaviest part of your answer goes into your comment. So you have to do things like analyze the language, refer to the author, link back to the question, look at the context, look at different connectives, use connectives in your answer. All of these different types of techniques. And that's the meatiest part, that's the biggest part, that's the J-Lo part of the answer. And we hope that our students, by remembering it that way, can remember, well, the examiner is going to want to see this in my response, and this is going to be the biggest part of my marks. I'm going to gain the biggest part of my marks from that area. So that's why we do J-Lo. All right, good morning. Today's lesson, ladies and gentlemen, is that we're going to look and see what the examiners expect in your exam responses, and see how you can secure at least a C grade and then move further to gain an A to A star grade. So we want to look at different techniques that you can do to make sure that you have from an E to a C, and then once you've got that secure C, moving it forward to collect that A to A star grade, because you have to think about the examiners and what the examiners want to see in your response. All right? So that's what we're looking at for our aim today with Mice and Men, getting that response from the C to the A star. And that's what you always really want to push yourself for, is going from that C, at least securing a positive C, and then trying to hit that A star level. That's what we're wanting to see. Now, basically, what I want us to begin with, what I want us to start thinking about is, what elements are needed in an exam response? What elements are needed? Andy, come here, dude. Up to the front. Are you going to catch it? All right, well done. I want you to tell Andy, please, what the elements, and you can just write them over here, are necessary to secure a positive exam response. You call them whoever you need to see.
Sergeant. Paragraphs.
Paragraphs. What happens if you don't paragraph in your exam response? What can happen?
You lose marks.
Well, you lose marks, but what grade will you not even get above? A D. You will not go above a D if you don't paragraph. So you absolutely must paragraph. All right, what else? What else is needed for the exam response?
Analyze language.
A and A.
There you go.
Analyze the language. Good stuff. All right.
Point, quote, comment.
Good. What's the most important part of the point, quote, comment?
Comment.
Exactly. Why is it? What do we refer to the point, quote, comment as? Remember, what's the thing to help you remember it?
A burger.
A burger. Who's the burger?
J-Lo.
J-Lo. Why is it J-Lo?
Because her bum's best part.
The comment is the biggest part you need to focus on. The exam response is the biggest part. That's where all of your marks go. The examiner will be looking at your comment. That's where all the marks go. That's the bottom part of it. J-Lo, the burger, remember it. That's how you got to do it. Okay? What else?
The effect on the reader.
Lee, why is the effect on the reader so powerful? We're going to give you so many marks.
Because it shows how the reader feels about it. I don't know.
You do, exactly. What you do, it shows the reader.
What they feel about the quote.
It shows the reader what they feel about the quote, what they feel about what the author has done. Exactly. What else is necessary?
Ian.
I was going to say effect on the reader.
Okay.
Jess.
Refer to the question. Brilliant. Why is it necessary to do that? Why do you always refer back and link back to the question? Yeah, it lets the examiner know that you are focused and you're staying on task.
Do you understand the question?
And that you understand the question. Good job. All right. What are a few more things?
Like refer to the author and like why he wrote it. Stuff.
Good.
What he means.
Good. So we've got author, poet, paragraphs, analyze the language, point, quote, comment, effect on the reader, refer to the question, and is there anything else you can think of? Anything else? Two more, three more? Good girl. What are some connectives you can use in your exam? What are some connectives? Yes, sir.
Furthermore, in addition, however, moreover.
Ooh, he's going to give a few. Furthermore, in addition, however, well done, well done. Yes, ma'am. Therefore, good job. Ian?
Lee took all of mine.
Lee, share some answers, please. Yes, sir.
Like the formation of the poem, like look how it's written and if there's rhyming couplets or so on.
Exactly. So you're looking at the structure of it. You're looking at the actual analysis of it. If it's a poem, you're looking at the rhyming couplets. You're looking at the way it's written, the whole detail of it, the format. Okay. And then finally, anything else you want to throw in there in terms of what you think is necessary for a good response? Or do you feel
Introduction and ending.
you don't necessarily need that, do you? You just kind of jump into it, get straight into it. All right. Cool. Thank you very much, dude. Well done. I think you'll be a good teacher one day. All right, now, what I want you to do is this. With the partner sitting next to you, you're all working with different groups. You've all been put into different areas and different tables. What I want you to do is the person sitting next to you, I would like for you to look at this first example, okay? This first example here. And we see that it is an E grade example, all right? We see this is an E grade example. What I would like for you to do is to read it and then point out why it's an E grade, okay? What could they have done to improve it and why it only received an E grade? That's the first thing. Take 1 minute to do that. Take about a minute and a half, please. Yes, write all over it, please. These are yours to write on. Please, write all over that. That's yours. Are you okay over there? You can work with the guys, you can work with them either.
So, you said number.
Yep.
No explanations, you said. He doesn't do any of them, so you would paragraph.
So look at it and see what it is why this is not an effective answer and what can be done to secure a stronger answer.
It doesn't do any of that. Yeah, it does put much on there. No, that's it.
You all right, dude?
No paragraph thing.
Okay, ladies and gents. Year 10, hands up. Eyes on me. Thank you. All right, now, take what you've just read, okay? And I would like you and your partner to write one. I don't want you each writing an individual essay, response, but I want you to take what you've just seen, and I want you and your partner to come up with the same thing, using the same point. I think George feels isolated. Since we're dealing with mice and men, I think George feels isolated. And I want you to come up with an answer that moves from from an E to a C. See what you can do to get from an E to a C, please. Yes, ma'am.
Using the same quote.
Using the same quote, using the same point. try to come up with getting it from an E to a C. Don't look ahead in your pack. Yes, sir.
Maybe another.
You can do it in your book, or you can rewrite it in this burger part here. So whatever you want to do, whatever you feel comfortable with. So I just need you and your partner working together to come up with 1 point, please. I mean, 1 C grade answer.
No, use the same point, the same. Right, just change the comment. Yeah.
Try to come up with 1 in about 2 minutes. You're not writing individual ones. You're coming up with your partner, and you're coming up with 1 together for both of you. You're coming up with 1 for both of you.
So you start off with that and
Mm-hmm.
That's what you like. The angry is just because he's, no, I thought he's asking. Because if he's asking could you say that he's using a rhetorical question?
Yeah, that'd be a language feature. Because is he actually saying, and what I got you, and what I got, is he expecting Lee to say, well, actually, George? No, he's not, is he? So he's just kind of venting. He's asking a rhetorical
But
question.
does
He's
that
kind of
show he's
venting.
isolated?
In a sense, yeah, because look at this. What I got you. You can't keep a job and you lose me every job. So he's saying, what is that quote
He
saying?
hasn't got anything.
Not really, no. I mean, he's a grown
But
man.
the only thing he's actually got can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, does he have a wife? Does he have a girlfriend? Does he have a house? Does he have a steady job? Does he have money in the bank? No. But what, he's got Lenny, but about all these other things, does he have anything else?
Okay.
Yeah?
So,
Okay. All right, take about 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes, please.
Okay, so the post starts with using a rhetorical question. Just it like
You should be working with your partner to come up with
he's like, I can't explain.
one answer.
Like expressing what his future is.
No, I don't. I'm sorry, you want to go get one? Yeah. How's it going?
So he's beginning like
Yeah.
his feelings towards these he starts to questions like starting his speech.
Make sure you get that shot all the way around, okay?
No, but he says I got you, but then he backfires and contradicts him. Yeah, he's saying that all he's got is him, but he's basically... Is he contradicting himself there when he says I got you, but you can't keep anything?
Yeah, I've got you, but the thing is,
But is that contradiction?
is he saying that's really lie? Is he trying to say, yeah, I've got you, but is it worth anything? I've got you.
So what's
So
that
what?
word
I've
for
got
that?
you. You can't keep a job. You lose me everything I've got. You're a pain.
But what's the word for that? Like he's like backfiring what you just said.
No. He's asking. This is an anger right here. I know what I got. It's also a rhetorical question. Okay.
No, but the word
And
says
then
I've got you, and then he says that he's
It's
nothing.
kind of accusing him of. It's
Obviously,
accusatory
yeah.
language because he's trying to.
He's
The irony
accusing
is, he's
them.
like saying, "I've got someone," but the irony is, look at you, look what you calls me. You know,
Yeah.
he calls me all this grief. So it'd be irony in a sense.
Okay.
Okay, guys, take 30 seconds, please, and we're going to discuss this.
Yeah. So it shows he's angry. So it shows he's angry at Lenny. It shows he blames his isolation. His isolated feeling on Lenny.
Have you used the author's name or anything? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's stop there for just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Hands up. Eyes on me. All right. Now, two things. When you first saw this response, this was the E grade in the GCSE exam last year. All right? Joe, read that out for me, please, sir. The E grade.
I think George feels isolated. And what I got you. You can't keep a job and you lose me every job. This shows George is angry and frustrated with Lenny.
All right, cool. Now, why is that automatically going to get an E? Why would that not get anything else above an E? What are some of the problems there with it? What do we see that, why is that a weak answer? All right, Tamar.
Because it doesn't have any analysis, it doesn't refer to anything, and like she says that what it shows, but she doesn't say why, and like why does it show that he's frustrated with Lenny or anything?
Okay, so no analysis of language at all. All right? Yes, sir.
No connectives.
No connectives at all? Good. Yes, ma'am.
Effect on reader.
The effect on the reader, not there at all. Yes, ma'am.
Back to the question.
It doesn't link back to the question at all? Yes,
It
sir.
doesn't involve author at all.
Yeah, it doesn't involve the mention of Steinbeck at all. Good job, dude. No mention of any of that. So you're missing out on all of this. And if the point quote comment, if the comment is the biggest part of your exam answer, and you have to get all of these things into your exam answer, and the comment part is supposed to be the best part, was the comment part, was that very J-Lo-ish? You know, was that your J-Lo kind of answer? No. The comment was the weakest part, wasn't it? It was the skinniest part, and you don't want that. You've got to have something the examiner's going to remember. All right, let me hear just a couple of examples that you and your partner came up with. So let me just hear briefly a couple of your examples, and then we'll see, and then we're going to move on to the next task. So, Sargent's group, you and Ben, what did y'all come up with, dude? Or Ben can read it, whatever y'all want. Make sure you use nice loud voices. That's okay. I mean, it doesn't have to be finished. You didn't have a lot of time for it. But I just want to see.
In this quote, drawn by Steinbeck, expresses George's feelings to be frustrated and angered, as Lenny loses him all his jobs they get. Lenny is trying to tell George that he wished he never stuck with him because Lenny doesn't know. Lenny doesn't want to look after him.
Okay. All right. So right there in the very first thing, what did he do that was good? What did he do that went well? Yes, ma'am.
Use the author's name.
Yeah, he's used the author's name. And he also did what? There was another thing that he did in the very beginning. He used the key term isolated. Yes? So that helped to link back and refer to the question. All right? Let me hear another example. Good job, y'all. Let me hear another example. Let's go with Lee's group, please.
In the book of Mice and Men written by John Steinbeck, we can see that George feels isolated and lonely and cold. The quote, firstly, this language portrays that George is angry and frustrated at Lenny. We can see that in the way he acts. Moreover, the language highlights that he's angry, and the short sentence, "I got you!" exclamation mark, puts a lot of emphasis on this, and the short sentence makes you think. Furthermore, the exclamation marks put a lot of emphasis on this as well. In addition, he uses a rhetorical question which makes us think. The effect on the reader is that he feels sympathetic towards George, however, they feel negative towards Lenny. All in all, we can see that the language implies that George is isolated and alone.
Dude, can we give him a round of applause? I think that was pretty good. Yeah? Well done. You and your partner did really well with that. You saw what you needed and you were able to tick all those criteria. Well done. Let's give one example of one last group and then we're going to move around. So can I have y'all's group, please?
Throughout of Mice and Men, George feels isolated. And what I got you. You can't keep a job and you lose me every job. This shows George is angry and frustrated with Lenny because George is not wanting to lose their job. However, George always has to look after Lenny, even if he does feel isolated.
All right, cool. We probably could have beefed that up a little bit with a few more analysis of the language. All right, well done though. All right, I'm going to give you a number, and I want you to remember your number, please. I need the 1s here, my 2s here, my 3s, and my 4s. All right, 3, 4, 1, and 2. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Leave. 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay? Can you move around, please? Take your pack with you. Take your pack with you. Now flip over, please, to where it says C grade or higher. All right, can I please have, let's have, why don't you go ahead and read that for me, please?
I think George feels isolated because he's stuck with Lenny, who stops him getting good jobs and always gets him in trouble. God Almighty, I wish I was alone. I could live so easily. This shows that George is frustrated and angry with Lenny. George can't go out and enjoy himself because he's scared Lenny will get in trouble. When George says God Almighty, it shows that George is very aggressive towards Lenny.
All right. Now, Brooke, what was done with the fact that this was a C grade and they did okay with it? What was pretty good about this?
They picked out like a part of the quote and analysed it.
Okay.
Said, like why they used that, and then they talked about like how George is like aggressive towards Lenny and how he reacts to Lenny.
Okay, cool. So they've done a bit of language. They've not done a lot. They've maybe done like half a J-Lo. Okay, they haven't done the whole J-Lo. The comment is not as good as it could be, but they've done a little bit of it. They've done enough to secure a C grade. Now, what I want you to do is, I want you to pick at your table to come up with a really good quality exam response that you think you can improve this from a C. We now need to bump it up to that A to A star range. What could be done to go from a C to an A star range? What is necessary? What's necessary? Yes, sir.
Say why it makes him frustrated. Like what in the quote says that.
Okay, what in the quote makes him actually frustrated? And then taking it further, Joe?
Refer to the author.
Refer to the author. Good job, dude. Yes, ma'am.
Effect on the reader.
The effect on the reader. Now, why is the effect on the reader so absolutely necessary? Why is it? If it's frustrated, how is that going to affect the reader? How will that, if it shows him frustrated, how is it going to affect him? Yes, sir.
It shows a relationship between Lenny and George.
Okay, good. Exactly, dude. It shows a relationship between Lenny and George, and that's basically the whole theme of the novel. You're looking at relationships between Lenny and George, and you want to make sure that you get it into your exam answer. Okay? So well done. Now, as a group, I want you to think about this. You've seen the C grade. Pretty good, not bad. But because you are the smartest year 10 group here at Haydon School, I know that you can just absolutely knock it, out of the ballpark, do it even bigger, and get the A to A star grade. Okay? So, flip over to the next couple of pages and look at this one. These are examples of A to A star exam response grades that I want you to give me. All right? These are some really good beefed up examples. Now, Ian, read example 1, please.
John Starbeck has made the character of Lenny seem very childlike by the way he acts in the story. Lenny looked timidly over him. George? Yeah, what you want? Where are we going, George? So you forgot what already, did you? I gotta tell you again, do I?
Should we have Ian read that again with the accent?
No.
I think we should have Ian read that again with the accent. You want to try it one more time? I think. How many of us think we should take a vote and see Ian with the accent? Yeah, I think so. Obviously. Come on, one more time. One more time with the accent. All right, here we go. Give us a quote.
John Starbeck has made the character of Lenny seem very childlike by the way he acts in the story. Lenny looked timidly over him. George? Yeah, what you want? Where are we going, George? So you forgot already, did you? I gotta tell you again, do I?
Alright, now back. Can we give him? That was pretty good. That's pretty good. Alright, go ahead, please. The comment?
This conversation reminds the reader of a child asking an adult question. By saying that Lenny looked timidly over him, you can imagine a child nervously looking at an adult before asking them a question. Also, the way George reacts to the question reminds the reader of an adult being angry and annoyed with a child because they keep on asking the same question. However, Lenny is a grown man and is much bigger than George, so this shows us how Lenny acts like a child and that George is his carer.
Well done, mate. Good job. Now, we see that answer right there, everything that you told Andrew earlier, everything that you know that is embedded in your head to get the exam results that you need from an A to an A star, that answer encompassed, all of that. So what you need to do now is this. As a group, okay, I want you to come up with one exam response. You're going to write it on this paper. You're going to create your own J-Lo burger. You're going to show us your J-Lo burger answer. You're going to use the C grade. George feels isolated. So whatever your point is, it's going to do with isolation. Your point will deal with isolation. As one group, you're going to come up with one answer. You're all going to come up with one hamburger, and you're going to show us your hamburgers in just a little bit. So you need to make sure your exam answer is very strong. It encompasses and it embeds everything that you need for that A to A star, and you need to really push yourselves. You need to be talking, you need to be working well, and you need to come up and try to make your C grade answer that you see before you. You want to make this answer match something that looks very familiar with the A grade, the A to A star grade. Yes? Who is unclear about that? Yes, sir.
So we use the same quote?
You can, use the same quote. Use a point that deals with isolation, and then come up with your own comment. Yes? But just at the same time, use the same quote and use a point that deals with isolation. All right? Lee, you got it? Big smiles? There you go. All right, here we go. All right, guys, get to it. All of you working together as a group. I want to see lots of interaction with each other, and I want to see lots of work on this, coming up with one per table. The quote, yeah. God Almighty, if I was alone, I could live. It's so easy. So you're using this quote. Yeah. So God Almighty, you're going to use this quote, a point about isolation. You're going to come up with your own burger, your comment. Okay?
Because he still needs it. So he says that, but he still needs it.
Yeah, you're using everything. So you're using this. They're using the point. You can rewrite it to make it your own, to make it stronger. But it's about isolation. You're using the same quote, okay? And you're going to come up with your A grade answer for your comment. Okay? Cool? All right, guys, so you're going to use the same quote. The point will be about isolation. And you're going to come up with your A grade comment. Yeah? Cool. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, you can. But the thing is, you may want to change this point to make it a bit stronger. No. You can choose it because we're going to save time. Make sure you're doing it.
According to George, he feels that he live so much better without them.
All right, good stuff. Now let's get those filled in and get them ready for the answers.
However, he's stuck with it and therefore feels isolated.
You can use the same point as long as it deals with isolation. So if you want to rewrite it, that's fine. But just make sure it's dealing with isolation. Y'all all right, guys? Yeah. So what are you coming up with for your point? Okay. All right. Okay, now you need to come up with what you're going to include in that comment to make it a really strong one, okay? We'll start making sure you've got all the elements that you need to tick all the boxes for that grade.
Life would be easier.
Yeah, like.
Okay. How's it going?
Good.
Everyone should make sure they're sharing ideas. I shouldn't just see one person talking. I should everyone talking, everyone giving ideas.
Just finished.
Cool.
Quote.
This quote written by John. Should we say that was?
Yeah.
We just started. We just said we just said. Write something else. Could affect the reader of the last year.
No, you
That.
can like
Yeah, yeah.
John Steinbeck expresses George's feelings
Furthermore, John Steinbeck.
as
No?
frustrated. Yeah.
It was a bit posh today.
Furthermore, John Steinbeck.
All right. Joe, how's your table doing, dude? Is it all right?
George's feelings.
Yeah. How you doing? You all right?
Shows the isolation of what it's using.
What time is it? Doesn't matter what time it is. Oh, we're on time. All right, cool. Not great. Okay, guys, make sure you're focused.
So is that blasphemy?
Is it what?
Blasphemy.
God almighty. Well, and it's not necessarily. It showed what you would use is its colloquial language because in the time, people really, especially in the states, in the southern states and stuff, used oh God, or people referred to. Remember, it's the Great Depression as well. So how could you link this to the context of the time?
He has a dream,
Mhm.
like he'd live easily, but Lenny's like holding him back.
So if you're looking at the language of God Almighty, how can that be related to context? What was going on at that time?
Great Depression.
Yeah, so how could God be linked into that? Why would he say God, maybe? Think about it. Think about, what do you start a prayer with usually?
Dear God.
Yeah? Yeah?
So it's like asking God, like God, please let me live alone.
Yeah, it's kind of just like, oh, God, come on, show some mercy on me type thing.
But it's not using God's name in vain.
Well, it's not using it in a nice way in terms of, it's not a sermon, it's a prayer. It's, you could see it in a sense of negativity, and it's not. He's not necessarily using like GD or swearing with the name. He's not using it in the most appropriate sense. So you could look at it like that. But you could also look at it in terms of God. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We said if he's got George as a burden, then he's saying, God, why have you given me this burden all the time? If I didn't have this guy, I could just go off and do this, this, and this. So it is kind of, it's a plea, and it's also kind of an anger to God. It's both. You can see it as both. All right, guys. Also, think about something as well. What was happening in that time period in America? What was so severe of that time period in America? What's up? The Great Depression. Now, how can you take the context of that answer? How can you take the context of the time period and put it into the answer? Think about how you can link the Great Depression into your answer. Yes, sir? Couldn't get any jobs. So there's people feel isolated because they're out of work, they're out of money. Think about that as well. See what you can throw in terms of context into your answer as well, please. Context is important. Okay, take about 2 minutes, then we're going to go on, please. 2 minutes, please. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Lucky, you okay? Yeah? You open out with your answer? Yeah? What did you see that was good about this one? What did you find that was good?
Talking about the quite like analysing it, and it shows that how it feels.
For example, for Lenny as lazy people look after themselves.
Affecting the reader.
Yeah?
Yeah, and how angry he is.
Good. Very good. Well done.
Lenny's latest failure, and suggests that George, but is George the big one?
If some of you are stuck on context and how to get the context into your exam answer, this page right here has a section on context and how you can include it into your exam response. All right? Got it? Sergeant, you okay, dude? Yeah? Cool. See? Tom, how are you doing? All right? Cool. Are you making sure you're try to make sure you're including all the elements? Okay. Farrell, how's your group getting on? You all right?
Therefore, we see the loneliness they struggle with. This is also can also be linked to Great Depression in American history.
Yeah, good. Okay, are we almost ready to share our answers? Are we almost ready? Yes, no, maybe so? Okay, quickly, come on. We're going to feed back our answers really soon, so you need to start wrapping it up. There you go, see? Well done. You know how to play the game? Okay, you need to think in your head who's going to read, who's going to share the response out to the group. Make sure you're sharing the response out. Stewie, I need my ninja to do it. Stewie, come on, Dave. You're up here on the board. You gotta do it. Wait. I'm gonna make you come to the front, buddy. Yeah. Are you done? Is it done? You good to go? Yep. All right. Hurry up, because I've already got one table done. I need to see the rest. I need a response from this table. I need someone to come up and read it from this table. You gonna do it? I'm actually feeling kind of short up here. I'm not sure if I'm enjoying this.
Do you have to come up to the front and read it?
Yeah? All right, so I'm waiting for y'all's table. Oh, do you want a little chair? Oh, bless, you're only tiny. All right, we're waiting. Come on. All right, let's start off with Stewie, please. Guys, hands up. Waiting. All right, go please.
John Steinbeck portrays George to be isolated because he is stuck with Lenny, who stops him getting good jobs and always gets him into trouble. God Almighty, if I was alone, I could live so easy. Firstly, this language signifies that George is frustrated and angry with Lenny. You can see that this by the way that George uses the phrase God Almighty. This language emphasises on George's anger. The word God proves that George is angry. Furthermore, the word Almighty shows that he is this as well. During this time period, America was suffering from the Great Depression due to the Wall Street crash. In this language we can see that it was very hard to find a job, just like in the Depression. In addition to the effect on the reader, that they feel sympathetic to both of them. They feel sympathetic to George because he can't get a job, and sympathetic to Lenny as he is mentally retarded. All in all, you can see that the language used implies that George feels isolated.
Well done. That was a really good job. All right, Tamar, please.
According to George, his life would be easier without Lenny. He feels isolated as his life is occupied by caring for Lenny. God Almighty, if I was alone, I could live so easy. The use of negative language in this quote clearly shows George is frustrated. George is making a plea to God as well as expressing his anger, blaming God for leaving him with Lenny. Moreover, the use of the word if suggests that George has a dream, like many people in America during the time that Steinbeck wrote the novel. George claims in the quote that life would be easier without Lenny. However, throughout the novel, the reader can see that George needs Lenny in his life despite the way he treats him.
Well done. See, really getting this language and picking it apart. The examiner would love you big style. Good job.
I think George feels isolated because he is stuck with Lenny, who stops him getting a good job and always gets him into trouble. The author John Steinbeck shows that isolation in the quotes he uses. God Almighty, if I was alone, I could live so easy. In this quote, you can see George's frustration with Lenny, and he treats him as a burden and something he has to look after. He shows this by saying, if I was alone, I could live so easy. However, the reader feels sorry for George, as he has to look after Lenny. On the other hand, the reader also feels sympathetic for Lenny, as he is incapable of looking after himself and relies on George. Therefore, we see the loneliness they both struggle with. With this, it could be also linked with the Great Depression that was going on in America at this time.
Well done, Doug. Well done. Good job. And last one?
In the book of Mice and Men, written by John Steinbeck, the character George feels isolated as Lenny always gets him in trouble. God Almighty, if I was alone, I could live so easy. Furthermore, John Steinbeck expresses George's feelings in the quote, God Almighty, which shows he is frustrated and fed up of Lenny. As Lenny acts like an immature adult, George feels isolated because he has to take care of him all the time and hasn't got anyone else he can talk to. Therefore, this makes the reader feel sympathetic towards George. However, this also makes the reader feel sorry for Lenny as he is not wanted by George, despite all of their arguments. Without each other, they would be nobody. Therefore, depression at that time period, they both needed each other.
Very good. Can you all give yourselves a round of applause? Now, I need you to call on someone in this classroom. Get hands up with something that you have learned in today's lesson, something that you can take away from today's lesson. Think about it, and I need you to call on someone, please. Just randomly put them on the spot, have them tell you what they know. Let's start off with you, Chloe.
Andy.
I learned to analyse the context more.
Good. Context.
Refer back to the quote.
Good job, dude.
Tom.
To refer to the author.
Well done, the author.
Sergeant.
To use a lot of connectives.
Brilliant job. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do this structure, if you follow this structure, the examiners will just give you the A star automatically, and you're going to be brilliant. Year 10, you are? No matter what they
Say.
Words can't?
Bring you down.
Don't let them?
Bring you down today.
Get out my sight. I'll see you later. I'll go on to these. Bye, guys. Have a good day. I'm going to take these up. You all did really well today. I'm very proud of you. Really proud of you. Have a good day. Bye, sweetie. Bye. Please don't leave your papers on the desk, though. I'm going to take them in. Cheers, boss. No, you keep this. Here. Yeah. Cheers, boss. Will you grab that one? You all right? You keep that.
I've already got one.
Oh, you got one? I think the lesson went well. I think students were on task. I think they were exam focused. I believe that they participated and tried hard. And that's really all you can ask them to do, is always to try their best. And we saw at the beginning, exam level answers went from an E, and then we saw at the end how they could, in effect, work to produce gaining their answers towards an A to an A star. So I was very pleased with the final product. There always is going to be room for tweaking, and we will improve the answers over the next few weeks. However, I was very pleased in the fact that they were the response that they gave today at the end of the lesson in order to achieve a secure grade A. I was pleased with their efforts today. We're going to continue working on the exam responses. We will continue strengthening their response, strengthening their answer, and we will continue to incorporate the necessary elements for their exam response so that they can feel that they have the necessary skills required of them when they go into the exam, and that they are confident within themselves in producing a quality grade that they can achieve.